What is up, guys? So a lot of you guys requested I do a predictions video for the next seasons of the Arrowverse, in particular a death predictions, who I think will die in the Flash Season 5, Arrow Season 7, and so on and so forth. I already made one for Arrow Season 7. If you want to check out that video, link is in the top right corner of the video, and I probably won't make one for Supergirl, and probably maybe for Legends tomorrow, I'm not really sure, but the Flash Season 5 is what this video is all about. Something to note about the deaths this season, something the showrunner said, is that this season will apparently have a lot of deaths. I don't know if that means series regulars will die. I don't know if that means just a lot of people will die in general, like bystanders or recurring characters or series regulars. I'm not really sure, but I think you can probably assume that because of that comment, he probably does mean series regulars, which makes me think that at least he says a lot of people, so maybe 2 or 3 people will die this season, which is a lot of series regulars to kill off in one season, but I think it is actually possible, and I'll get into who I think will die in this season. First of all, though, the characters who I think are safe completely this season are 1, Barry Allen, aka The Flash. He will not die this season. He is safe. He's the main character. They're not going to kill him off. And, I mean, it's very possible that they're going to do something like they did in Arrow Season 3, where they kill off the main character and then he comes back to the next episode. But I feel like they've done that already. They already did that on Arrow. They've sort of already done it on The Flash, where he just goes to the Speed Force instead of dying. So I definitely don't think he will die. And temporarily or not, he won't die this season. And then there's Iris West, who I also don't think will die this season either. The Flash, in general, is really, like, going deep into their relationship, Barry and Iris' relationship, and the character in general, and even though there's been a lot of backlash to that, especially in Season 4, as well as Season 3, I don't think they're going to change. I still think they're sticking to their guns, so Iris West is safe as well. Then there's Ralph Dibny, aka Elongated Man, who is also definitely safe because they already quote-unquote killed him off in Season 4, and because of that fake out, I think he's kind of safe for at least 2 or 3 seasons, maybe for the entirety of the show, because it will feel so cheap and fake if he actually dies and is killed off in a season where he was already quote-unquote killed off and it was all a fake out. So if it happens again, we're all going to be like, yeah, but he's going to come back, right? I mean, they've done it before, like they did it with Sarah Lance. She's been killed off like 5 or 6 times, but I don't think they're going to do it for Ralph Dibny. It's still possible, but I think that because of that fake out, he's probably safe from being killed off for at least 2 or 3 seasons, hopefully the entirety of the show, if he doesn't become a bad character, because in my opinion, he's definitely a great character at this point. Then there's the focal point of the season, which is Nora Allen, aka XS, and I definitely don't think she will meet her demise this season. Like I said, she's the main focal point of the season as well, along with Cicada, the main villain, so I don't think she will be killed off. It's possible that she leaves after the season, goes back to the future or something. I don't know if she's a good character or not, but at this point, I think she could be a cool addition to the team, so I'm hoping she doesn't leave or / die, but I definitely don't. I think that she is another character who is 100% safe from dying this season. Those are all the characters, all the series regulars, that is, that are completely safe. There are other characters who I don't think will die, but there is still a possibility. But Barry Allen, Iris West, Elongated Man, Ralph Dibny, and Nora West, I think Nora Allen, rather, I think those characters are completely safe from being killed off in this season. Now we get to the characters who I think have a possibility of dying, and the first character is Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost. Or at this point, it's actually just Caitlin Snow. So the Season 5 seems to be really focusing around her, like a little bit at least, because there's the whole thing from Season 4 where her real origin story was revealed, and it's been confirmed that her father is being casted for the Season 5, and her mother is returning as well, and I definitely will talk about those characters later in this video. But Caitlin Snow, or earlier, I guess she was Killer Frost. At this point, she's not. I think that all of this, bringing her origin story in and her parents, I think it might all be leading up to a more emotional death for her. I think that's very possible, and I don't think the character will die in general. I think Caitlin Snow might die forever, but Killer Frost might take over, which is something that I actually want to see, because Caitlin Snow is nowhere near as interesting a character as Killer Frost, and Killer Frost as a villain, in my opinion, is a much more interesting character than Killer Frost as a hero, or at least a conflicted villain, which I feel like she wasn't as conflicted as she usually is, or she should be in Season 4. Like, I just don't think she was. So if Killer Frost completely takes over Caitlin Snow, I think that would be a plus, in my opinion, and if she becomes a recurring character instead of a series regular from now on, I think I would not mind that. She is one of the characters who have gotten stale over the years, and I think Killer Frost taking over could definitely help making her unstale, I guess. But I think Caitlin Snow might die this season. My final prediction for this character is Caitlin Snow will die, like, in the middle of the season, maybe episode 11 or 12, and Killer Frost will take over from her completely. Whether she's gonna become evil again, I'm not really sure, but I think that's my prediction. I don't know if this is gonna come true. This is, again, just a prediction for season 5. Next up is a new series regular this season in Sherlock Wells, who is a new version of Harrison Wells. Just like Caitlin Snow, I think this character, or these characters in general, all the Harrison Wells have gotten stale, like really stale, and I think season 4 should have been the season where they left. In fact, I think season 4 should have been the season Tom Cavanaugh left the show. He's a great actor who was great in season 1 as well as season 2, but after season 2, I think he's become a little redundant and a little repetitive. Like, repetitive is a great word to use for him, as after season 2, he just became repetitive. Every character that he introduced with his, every Harrison Wells made the last one less significant and the next one less significant. So each of these Welleses, or however you call it, they're basically not even characters anymore. They're just personas, really, that Harrison Wells is using. And I think Tom Cavanaugh, because of that, should have left the show after season, maybe even 2, but at this point, I think he should have left after season 4, because there was a great way for him to leave. Harry Wells became like semi and not intelligent anymore, so he could have, and he went back to Earth 2 forever. I think that would have been a great way for him to retire his character completely, but it seems like Sherlock Wells is a new character introducing this season, which I'm not really excited for, but I think there's a slight possibility he will die. They've already done something where they introduced a Wells and they killed him off in that season. Spoiler alert for season 3, HR. He died in that season, and I think they might be doing the same thing again for Sherlock Wells. The reason I say that is I think Sherlock Wells might actually become a villain this season, because they said that if he's someone who should not be trusted, I think that's what they said, so it's possible he will become a villain, which means that if he's a villain, he's going to probably die this season. So if I had to guess, I would guess that Sherlock Wells, I'm not really sure, but I'd say he'd die like near the end of the season. If he doesn't know, I would definitely not be surprised at all. Then there's Cisco Ramon, aka Vibe, who is a character who I think probably won't die, but just hearing the fact that there will be a lot of deaths this season, it just makes me think that characters will be killed off, and Vibe is one of the first characters I think of in terms of series regulars. Cisco Ramon, I think, just like a lot of characters on Team Flash, he has become stale over the years. After season, I'd say 3, I think, in season 4, he became a stale character, which a lot of characters did, which is a huge fault for the season, which just might be because the season didn't really do a good job, like, at all with the side characters, so maybe that's why it became stale, why Caitlin Snow became stale, why Harrison Wells and other characters that we'll get to also all became stale that season, so maybe the season was a lot worse than I actually remember. But Cisco Ramon, I think, has a slight possibility of dying this season because he doesn't really add anything anymore in terms of his friendship with Barry. In my opinion, he was replaced by Ralph Dibny. Ralph Dibny at this point just does it better. His friendship with Barry is more interesting than Cisco Ramon's friendship with Barry, so he doesn't really add anything in terms of that. His power set does, like the multiverse travel, does definitely add something in that point, but I think, again, Vibe, Cisco Ramon probably won't die, but in terms, like, I think there is a slight possibility he will. And in terms of when he will die, I think, just like Sherlock Wells, near the end of the season, like around episode 18. So far, like, a lot of these seasons have deaths around episode 18, so if one of these characters dies in episode 18, I probably won't be surprised, like around episode 18, 17, 18, 19, maybe 22 or 23 also, but I think that if either Sherlock Wells or Cisco Ramon dies, I don't think the other one will die, because that's just too many characters to kill off and too many series regulars, although there are 2 more characters I think might meet their demise this season, and one of those characters is Cecile Horn, the other one is Joe West. But I think that they won't kill them off. I think they're not completely safe, but I think it would just be way too tragic to kill these 2 off because they have a newborn girl, and I think that would be way too tragic, although I do think that both of them should leave the show in this season. Like, they should move out of Central City, move to Keystone or whatever, maybe even with Wally West, which I will get to later, because Wally West is leaving the show as well, but I think they should leave the show. Neither of them add much. Cecile Horn last season was just there for laughs and her powers, which came out of nowhere. Joe West, just there because he's been there since season 1. He doesn't really add anything anymore. Again, it just might be because season 4 didn't handle side characters well, like, at all, so maybe Joe West will come back this season and do something, but I don't think he has anything. I don't think Cecile Horn adds anything, but I don't want them to die because that would be way too tragic, so I just think Joe, Cecile, their daughter, and maybe Wally as well should leave Central City. I don't want Wally to leave, but he is leaving, so if he leaves, I think he should probably leave with them. But that brings us to the final series regular this season, David Hirsch, aka Cicada. Since he's the main villain, I'll just say he will probably die in the season finale, and that's probably not every main villain dies, but a lot of them do. So my final prediction for him, he dies in season 5 episode, I think this season has a little less episodes, so maybe 22, but just whatever episode it is, the season finale of the season, David Hirsch, aka Cicada, will probably die. So then we get to the recurring characters of The Flash Season 5, and 2 characters that have been confirmed for this season to appear in the back half of Season 5 are King Shark and Garab, but I don't think either of them will be killed off. I think both of them are safe, like, forever, because they're just too cool to kill off. They can't appear very often, but when they do, they're really cool, so I don't think they will kill those characters off. Then there's Wally West, aka Kid Flash. I already told you guys what I think about him. I don't think he will die, although he is leaving the show after the season. I mean, he already left in Season 4, I guess, but he's leaving the Arrowverse completely this season, and I don't think that means he's gonna die, because Candace Penn said that he probably will come back. Like, not he probably will, but he could come back in the future, which means he probably won't die, which means really he won't die. So I think, just like I said earlier, he should leave Central City and move somewhere else with Joe and Cecile and his new step or half sister. I think that's something that should happen. Then there's the last 2 characters, which are Thomas Snow and Carla Tannhauser. Thomas is a new character. Carla has already appeared in the past, and I think probably both of them will die, which is what will trigger Caitlin Snow becoming Killer Frost again, and Caitlin Snow will die as well. Like I said, I don't know how she will die, but I guess that's something that could happen. I don't know, but I think both of these characters will probably die, and that will trigger Killer Frost to come back. So that is every character from The Flash Season 5 predicted, or their death predicted. Let me know who you think will die this season, or better yet, let me know who you want to die in this season in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video, and thanks for watching.